So, good morning everyone. Now we'll begin with exercise 14.6, question 1. So it says, draw angle POQ of measure 75 degrees and find its line of symmetry. Now, what is line of symmetry? So, when these terms come in the question, like line of symmetry, axis of symmetry, or bisector, they mean the same thing. So in that case, you are supposed to find the bisector. Bisector means you are dividing anything in two equal parts. That's what bisect means. Okay, so here first we'll draw an angle POQ of measure 75 degrees and then we will bisect that. That's what they mean by this question. And here the word is draw. So you will use your protractor to draw 75 degrees. When they use construct, you are not supposed to use D. Otherwise, if it's mentioned draw, then you can always use your protractor. So for that, first we'll draw an angle of 75 degrees. For that, we will be requiring a line or a ray like this. Okay, this would be the midpoint. And then here I'll put the midpoint of the protractor like this. Okay, and now I'll mark 75 degrees. We'll use the inner scale of the protractor. If we are moving in the anti-clockwise direction, we'll look for the inner scale. So it's 75 here. I'll mark a point like this and then I'll join this vertex of the angle and this point here carefully. So in this way, I have drawn an angle of measure 75 degrees. Fine. I have to name this. This would be P, O, and this is Q. So this is 75 degrees. Now we have to find the bisector of this. So what are our steps to bisect an angle? I'll tell you. First, we'll keep the pointer of the compass here on the vertex and we'll draw an arc intersecting these two arms of the angle like this. Okay, that's the first step. And then now we have to bisect this part here. So what we'll do is we'll open our compass through more than half of this length. Okay, so this is kind of more than half. This would surely be less than half. This might be around half, but we are not sure if it's more than half. So we'll open till here like this. Okay, keeping the pointer here at the intersection of the arc and this ray, and then keeping it here, we'll draw an arc here. And now without disturbing my compass, and now keeping your compass, the pointer of the compass here on the second intersection of the arc and the arm of the angle. So like this, we have got two arcs intersecting at a point here. Now we'll join this point and the vertex of the angle. And if we join them, we actually have drawn the bisector, or as it's mentioned in the question, the line of symmetry. I'm using dotted line. It just looks beautiful. That's why. You can use solid line as well. So that's how I have bisected this angle. You can measure this. We have got 75 here. This is 75. And yeah, so you have got 37.5. Okay, so that's great. Now let's move on to question 2, which says, draw an angle of measure 147 degrees and construct it bisector. So it's the same thing. There we had an acute angle. Here we are having an obtuse angle. So again, the draw word has been used. So we will draw an angle of a measure 147 degrees and we'll repeat the same steps of bisection. So this is my ray or the arm of angle. Here we are not supposed to name them since it mentioned in the first question. That's why we did. Here it's not required, but if you want, you can. Okay, so that's my starting point or the vertex of the angle. So again I have to look for the inner scale again. So now it's 147. So be careful. This here is 140. I think you all can see this. So this will be 145 and this will be 146 and this is 147. So be careful while marking the point. Okay. So yes. So now I'll join this vertex, this vertex point here and this point. Like this. So now, and it's a bit difficult to draw a bisector for an obtuse angle compared to an acute angle. So don't worry, but we'll see. It's the same process. So we'll repeat the process. First, we have to draw an arc. You can open your compass through any radius you want at the first place. Means now, since you have not started any kind of construction, you can open it through any radius you want. Now, like I have opened till here, and now I'll draw an arc so that my arc would intersect these two arms like this, so that I can get these 2 points. Now again I have to bisect this part from here to here. Okay, so I have to open my compass through more than half of this length. So since this is my total length of this measure, this 147, but I need to have more than half only. So I'll open till here and I'll draw an arc here, and now without disturbing it and keeping it on this point, now I'll draw an arc like this. So now I've got an intersection point of these two arcs, and that's my vertex. So all my angles will be coming from this vertex only. And again I'll use dotted lines. I always use dotted lines when I was a kid. Yeah. Okay, so that shows that I have constructed something. You can hear as well right here, like you have bisected this and this came out as 37.5 degrees. That's optional, but if you want you can write it. Same again, let's just check if we have done it correctly. So that's 147, and here let's just see if we have got the correct. So you can just check always. 140 is like 70 degrees, right? Half. 70 is half of 140. Then rest we have 7. So that should be 3.5. So we'll just check if we are, yeah, if you can see it clearly, it's between 3 and 4. Okay, so we have, so it's between 73. Okay, I'll show you again. So that was my 147 here, and that's my 73.5. So that's how you bisect. So all this exercise, all the questions in this exercise are based on bisector only. You have to bisect. You have to find the bisector of every angle in this exercise. Okay. Let's move on to question 3. Let's read it first. Draw a right angle and construct its bisector. Again, you have to draw a right angle. Right angle means 90 degrees, and then you have to construct its bisector. So we'll be finding the bisector in each and every question of this exercise mostly. So that should be into your head now, the exact steps of bisection, and I think you should be scoring full marks if this kind of question comes up in the exam. It's very easy to bisect an angle. So for drawing an angle of measure 90 degrees, first we'll have to have one ray and the midpoint or the vertex, and we'll use protractor since it's written here, draw. So that's my 90 degrees straight up here, So I'll join this point and this vertex carefully. Okay, so be careful. Yeah. So yes, that's my 90 degree. Now I have to bisect it. So we'll repeat the same procedure. We'll keep the pointer at the vertex and we'll open it through any radius we want, like this. And then we got these 2 points, one point here and one point here. So I'll keep my pointer here and opening my compass through more than half of this distance. This distance, I have to bisect this distance here. So this is kind of half of this distance. I have to open it through more than half. So that's a good guess of more than half. So I'll just draw an arc like this, and now this time without disturbing my compass and keeping it on this point here carefully. This is my left hand. Okay, I'll just make a point here. Yeah, okay. Now I'll draw an arc here. Please sharpen your pencil for better results. Now I got intersection point of these two arcs. Now I'll join these 2 points, this point and the vertex, again with the dotted lines, but that's not compulsory. You can use solid line as well, as I've told you many times. That's like I used to do. Yeah, so fine, we have got the bisector. We'll just check if we got exactly 45 degrees or not. So that was, yes, that was our 90 degrees here, and that's our 45 degrees. Great, so we have done it correctly. High five to me. Okay, fine. So that's done. Third question. Let's move on to question 4. Now this is important, and this is kind of a question that we have already done in our previous exercise, where you had a line and they have asked you to divide it in 4 equal parts. So I'll just recall what we did in that question. We had a line and we had to divide it in 4 equal parts. So what we did it, first we bisect the line, so we got 2 equal parts, and then we bisected these 2 parts again. So in that way we got 4 equal parts. So that's the same thing we're gonna do in this question. Draw an angle of measure 153 degrees and divide it in 4 equal parts. So as you saw, when we bisect once, we got 2 equal parts. So I'll just show you roughly. So if that's not 153 degrees, I'm just giving you an example. So if it's an angle, you have to divide it in 4 equal parts. So first, if you bisect it once, you got 2 equal parts. Now if you bisect this part, you got 3 parts. Now if you bisect this part, you got other 2 parts. So in total you got 4 equal parts. So that's what we gonna apply in this question. So first we'll draw an angle of 153 degrees, and then we'll try to divide it into 4 equal. So means we will be bisecting this 3 times. We'll see how. Okay, so again we'll have an arm of an angle first, like this. Okay, that's our vertex, and then draw. So we have to draw, we'll use protector to draw 153 degrees. So they have given very random angles. So that's 150, 51, 52, and that's 53 here. Okay, so carefully I'll join these 2 points. Yeah, so now I've got my 153 degrees. So same procedure. First we'll bisect in 2 equal parts, and then we'll bisect those 2 parts. Okay, again. So same procedure, keeping your pointer at the vertex, open it through any radius you want, and we'll draw an arc so that it intersect these 2 arms like this. So I'll just highlight these points so that it gets easier for me to keep my pointer Okay, so now I have to bisect this length. So I'll open my compass. That's the total length that I'm supposed to bisect. So I'll just, yeah, okay. So that's kind of less than, more than half. So that's my arc here, and that's my second arc, keeping it, yeah, like this. Okay, yeah, hope you are getting it. Yeah, so I'll join these 2 points here. So in this way I have divided this angle in 2 equal parts, but my work has not been done yet. I have to find 2 bisectors now, one for this, one for this, so that I'll get 4 parts now. So now I have to divide this part, and this part. So these 2 parts are equal. So what I'll be doing for this, I'll repeat for this part. Okay, so now I have to bisect this angle here. So I'll open my compass through more than half. Okay, you can see it. Now I'll draw an arc here like this, and keeping it here, and draw it like this. I can use the same opening of the compass for this side as well, because they both are same. Okay, so I'll draw an arc here, and keeping your pointer, I'll draw an arc here. Now I'll join this point and this vertex, and this point and this vertex, like this. Okay, again dotted lines. Okay, be careful. So you can just always check your answer with the help of protractor. They should be equal. All the parts, all the 4 parts should be equal in measure. Okay, so that's how you are supposed to do question 4. Let's move on to question 5 now. So here they have said construct with ruler and compass angles of the following measures. So in this question we will not be using this for the construction part, but we will use just to check our answers. Okay, so we'll just begin. We have to construct 60 degree. We'll construct each angle separately. So for that we will be requiring one straight line like this, okay, and a compass. So we'll keep our pointer anywhere on the line, or we'll just say just kind of a midpoint here. Okay, so we'll open the compass through any radius we want. 60, 120 and 90. These are spatial angles that we can draw with a single opening of a compass, and then we can derive these angles 30 degrees, 45 degrees and 135 using these, okay, without even using this. Okay, so we'll open the compass through any radius we want, and now drawing an arc or kind of a semicircle like this. We want this point here basically, and now without disturbing, you are not supposed to disturb your compass throughout this procedure. So without disturbing and keeping your pointer here at the intersection of this arc and the line that you have drawn first, okay, like this, and without disturbing it, I'm saying it again and again, you'll draw an arc like this. So in just 2 seconds you have got your 60 degree. So now we'll join these 2 points here, either using pencil and scale, the intersection of these 2 arcs and the vertex that we drawn like this. So that's how you have got your 60 degrees. Very easy, just in 2 seconds. Let's come to C first. Okay, Yeah, okay, fine, we'll go in order. We'll get 30 degrees. So for 30 degrees you can either first draw 60 degrees using protector, or you can, because you know how to draw 60 degrees, you can just construct in 2 seconds and then bisect 60 degrees. You can do either way. Okay, so I'll prefer to construct 60 degree because that's more easier. So for that, first I'll have a line like this and the vertex, and now I'll open my compass through any radius I want, and then I'll draw a semicircle like this. That's my favorite part. Okay, now without disturbing it and keeping your pointer here at the vertex, sorry, at the intersection of this arc and the line, and drawing an arc like this. So I got 60 degrees now. So since I want 30 degrees, so for 30 degrees I'll be using straight solid line. For this part, since I don't need 60 degree is not important here, but I need it for 30 degrees, so I'll just show 60 degrees because that's something I don't want here. Now I'll bisect this to get 30 degrees. So now I'll open through more than half like this. Okay, and then repeating the same procedure of bisection, of bisecting an angle. Okay, like this. So done. So now I'll join this point and this point. With the solid line this time, like this. So I've got 30 degrees. Great. Now let's move on to 90 degrees. That's again very easy. Let's just draw a straight edge or a line. Take your compass, draw a midpoint like this. Keep your pointer here, open it through any radius you want. Draw a semicircle like this without disturbing it and keeping it here, the intersection of the arc and the line. You got 60 degrees here. Now keeping at 60 degrees, draw an arc here. There you got 120 degrees. This is, if you join these 2 points, you get 60 degrees. If you join these 2 points, this point and the vertex, you got 120. Remember that. Okay. And then if from 60, keeping your pointer at 60, you'll draw an arc here above this semicircle, and now keeping your pointer at 120, you'll draw an arc to intersect your previous arc. Now you will join this point and the vertex, and like this you have got 90 degrees. Okay, you can always check your answers with these. Now let's just construct 120 degrees. So again, for this we will be requiring a straight edge, a midpoint, a compass, and you can again open this through any radius you want, and a semicircle like this, and keeping your pointer here, you got 60. Great. Keeping it at 60, you got 120. Hooray, we have done constructing 120. So we constructed 120 in just 2 seconds. So that's 120 here. You can always check your answer with the help of protector. Let's move on to 45 degrees, which I believe is very easy. So either you can use protector to draw 90 degree and then you can construct it, or you can just construct 90 degree and then you can bisect it. Okay, but I'll use the construction part because we have been asked to use ruler and compass only. So okay, but in exam you can use protector also. So first I'll draw 90 degrees. Okay, since the angle of my camera, yeah, okay, fine. So that's the midpoint here. Compass will draw an arc by keeping it on the midpoint and we'll draw a semicircle like this. Basically we want this point. Okay, so keeping it here, we'll get 60 degrees. Keeping at 60 degrees correctly, we got 120, and that's for 90 degrees. And keeping at 90 degrees, sorry, keeping at 120 degrees, we'll draw another arc for 90 degrees. So now we'll join these 2 points, this and this, carefully with dotted lines. Okay, my scale has moved. Don't do that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm using 90 degrees for this because I don't want 90 degrees here. So that's my 90 degree. Now I'll bisect this part here using the same steps, opening my compass through more than half of this distance, drawing an arc here and keeping it at 90 degree like this. I hope you all can see this, and draw an arc like this. So I've bisected this part here. So now I'll join this point and this point here. I'll extend this. This surely should be equal to 45 degrees. Now let's move on to 135 degrees, which is kind of opposite to what we just did. For 45 degrees, we are bisecting the right hand part. For 135 degrees, we'll bisect this part. Very easy. So for that, we'll requiring a straight line, which is nothing but a straight angle, which measures 180 degrees. Okay, so basically we want 90 degrees and 180 degrees to bisect or to get 135 degrees. Okay, so again I'm using protractor. Sorry, I'm not using protractor. I'll use compass only to get 90 degrees. Very easy. Keeping it here, got 60. Keeping it at 60, got 120, got half of 90 kind. Now I'll keep it at 120. So I got 90 degrees. Please sharp your pencil. I'll sharp it in the next question, hopefully. Now I'll join these 2 points again with dotted lines because I don't want 90 degree. I just need its help. So now I'll bisect this left hand side part, okay, for 135 degrees. So again I'll open my compass through more than half. Okay, the steps will be the same. Wait, I've kept my, it should be here. Yeah, more than half. We'll open it through more than half of this distance, and now keeping at 90 correctly, we got this arc here. So now I'll join this point and this vertex, and hopefully I got 135. Now be careful. Not this part here is 135, but this part here is 135 degrees. Okay. Now let's move on to question 6. It says draw an angle of measure 45 degrees and bisect it. Again, we are doing the same thing. In each and every question, we are finding the bisector of an angle. So they have mentioned the word draw, so we will draw 45 degrees. So for that, I'll draw an arm of an angle. I've sharpened my pencil, and that's the vertex. Okay, so now I'll use protractor to get 45 degrees. So that's here is my 45 degrees inner scale, remember that. Okay, now I'll join these 2 points, this and this. Yeah, the bits of the pencils are coming out. Fine. So that's 45 degrees. Now I have to bisect this. Same procedure. Keep your pointer at the vertex carefully and draw an arc like this. Okay. Yeah, it's correct. Now I'll open my compass through more than half of this distance. this is the total distance that I'm supposed to bisect. So I have kind of opened it through more than half. So I'll draw an arc now, this time without disturbing it and keeping it here carefully. I'll just make a okay. I'll just check if I have not moved it. Yes. Okay, and then I'll draw an arc like this. So now I'll join this point and the vertex. So in this way I have drawn the bisector of 45 degrees. That should be 22.5, right? So if you want, you can write it or you can leave it like this, but that's great if you do this. Okay, let's move on to question 7 now. Now we have to draw an angle of 135 degrees and bisect it. So same steps are repeating with different angles. So that's my arm, that's the vertex of my angle. So now I'll use protector to get 135 degrees exactly. So this line should coincide with this thing. So 135 here. That's my 135. I'll join this to get a line. Sorry. Yeah. Be careful while joining the points. So this here is 135. Okay. So that's kind of just forget. You can name it since I got here. Never mind. Okay. So now repeating the same procedure. Open your compass through any radius you want. Draw an arc like this. Okay, I'll just do it. Yeah. Okay, now I have to bisect this part. So I'll open through more than half. So that will be okay. So an arc here and keeping it here. I'll draw an arc here. Okay, so now this point and this vertex should meet together. Careful. So we are done. Now let's move on to question 8. Draw an angle of 70 degrees and make a copy of it using a straight edge and a compass. Straight edge is nothing but a line, straight line. Okay, so first you have to draw 70 degrees and then you have to copy it. So first of all, we'll draw 70 degrees and we want one straight edge, so I'll draw that as well here. That will be requiring to make a copy of this angle. Okay, so yeah, so that's the vertex, and using protector I'll draw 70 degrees carefully. So that's here my 70 degrees. So I'll join these 2 points. Okay, so that's my 70 degrees. Okay, and I have this straight edge given and I have to use compass only. So listen to the steps carefully. So first we'll keep the pointer here on the vertex of this angle and open the compass through any radius we want, and we'll draw an arc like this, so that we got 2 points here, intersection points, one this and this. Okay, so what we did is we kept our pointer here and we opened it through any radius we want and we drew an arc like this, and without disturbing it and keeping it here at the vertex of the new angle. Okay, and we'll draw an arc like this with the same opening that we used here to draw this arc. Fine, that's first step. Now we have to copy this part, right? So we'll measure this distance using compass, keeping your pointer here at one point and your pencil on the another, like this. So I have measured this whole angle. Now I have this point in common. Okay, that's the same kind of part. So I'll keep my pointer here at the intersection of this arc and the straight edge, and we'll draw an arc like this. So in this way I got this point and vertex I already had. So I'll join these 2 points here like this. Okay, so we'll just check if we have got the copies. So this is here, you can see is 70 degrees. We'll just check if we have got 70 degrees again or not. So yes, so we got 70 degrees again. Let's move on to question 9. It says draw an angle of 40 degrees and copy its supplementary angles. Now this is the new term here. I'll just brief you about this term. Supplementary angles are those angles who add up to 180 degrees. Means two angles are said to be supplementary if they add up to 180 degrees. If their sum is 180 degrees. So if they are saying 40 degrees, you have to draw 40 degrees and you have to copy it supplementary. So what will its supplementary be? So I have said if there are two angles and they add up to 180 degrees, they are called supplementary angles. Now we have given one angle. Here it's 40 degrees. We don't know about the B, and but it should be equal to 180 degrees. So how much do we need to add to 40 degrees to get 180 degrees? Okay, so we'll subtract 40 from 180. So in that way we got B as 140 degrees. So 140 is the supplementary of 40 degrees. So if we have given draw an angle of 60 degrees and draw its supplementary angle, copy its supplementary angle, they mean you will subtract 60 from 180, so you get 120. 120 will be the supplementary of 60 degrees. So that's how it works. Okay, so two angles, if they add up to 180 degrees, they are called supplementary. There will be a new term, complementary angles, that you will be studying in the higher classes. That's if you add two angles and you got 90 degrees as their sum. That's complementary. Okay, so that's the extra part. So yeah, so here first we'll draw 40 degrees and then we'll copy its supplementary angle. So for that we will be requiring a straight edge like this. For why we are having this? Because that's a straight line which measures 180 degrees, and you know supplementary angles, they add up to 180 degrees. So that's why we need it. Okay, so yeah, so I'll first draw 40 degrees. Okay, and then I need to have one straight edge to draw a copy, so I'll draw that first. Yeah, and then using this I'll be drawing 140 degrees. Okay, so now we'll draw 140 degrees. So for that first we have to draw 40 degrees, then only we'll be able to draw its supplementary angle, which is 140. Okay, so yeah, I will look for the inner scale. So that's how we got this. So, and trust me, drawing a copy of an obtuse angle is not that easy. Even sometimes I don't get it correct at first place in first attempt. So don't worry if you don't get it correct in the first attempt. Keep trying. You will get it for sure. So let's try. This is 40. Okay, so this is 40 here, and this should be its supplementary because that's 180. If you add this angle and this angle, you got 180 degrees. So that's how supplementary angles work. So we have to copy this, and I'll draw the copy here. So we'll repeat the same procedure. Open your compass through any radius you want, and you will draw an arc here. We are copying this angle here. Okay, so I'll put the pointer here and we'll draw an arc like this. Okay, so now I have to copy this measure here. So I have to keep or you have to measure this part. So you'll keep the pointer here and your pencil here. Okay, so be careful. Yeah, so I've measured this part. So this point and this point are common, right? So I'll put the pointer here and I'll draw an arc here. Did you understand this? But it's kind of this angle is this way. Okay, this is kind of in a clockwise direction, and I'll be drawing its copy in the anti-clockwise direction. They are the same. Don't get confused. Okay, before drawing a line, I'll just check if I got 140 degrees or not. And you can use this trick in exam as well. So as you can see here, this is my intersection point, and I clearly got 140 degrees exactly. So I'll just join this point. Don't worry if you don't get it in first attempt. Even I didn't get it correct in the first attempt, so don't worry. Okay, so we'll just join these 2 points and we'll just check if it's 140 or not. 1 or 2 point, ek do point upar niche will, doesn't matter. Yeah, so it's kind of, yeah. Okay, so that's how we got 140 degrees. So if you still get any doubt, you can WhatsApp me or ask in the class. Thank you.